name's Angelo, and welcome. 3, 2, 1. We are live.
And 3, 2, 1.
Okay, we did it already. Okay. My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. Jakey and I are going to break down the entire UFC 279 fight card. We're going to give you our picks, our predictions, our bets, and our fantasy plays. And if you're not a premium member, you should become one. It is only $10 a month. Just go to WeWantPicks.com. At the top, click Become a Member. It's $2.50 a week. You'll get all of our bets the very second that we place them. All of our picks early. They're up long before we film these videos. And everything you could ever need to make money, including a DraftKings optimizer. Yes, we have a DraftKings optimizer to help you build your lineups. You literally go in there with pre-populated data. It gets populated on Friday. Pre-populated data. You click a couple buttons, and then boom, it builds your DraftKings lineup for you. WeWantPicks.com. At the top, click Become a Member. The optimizer alone is worth the freaking $10. And then you hit one of these bets, which we made some money last week. We made some real money last week.
Moolah.
And then we have... Oh, you have this stupid... Oh, God damn it, Jacob, messing with the stream all the time. We have a premium member giveaway. So anybody who is a premium member should thank Jesse Correa, because Jesse is giving us a signed D-Rod poster to give away to a premium member. So we are giving that to a premium member. So yeah, be a premium. I'm trying to figure out how to get rid of this stupid chat that you pinned on here.
Oh.
Anyway, did you get rid of it?
What do you mean me? It's your stream. I don't see it on the I don't see it on the stream. So
okay, well, good. Well, now it seems to be gone. Anyway, if you are a premium member, you automatically qualify for this giveaway. Well, all you need to do, is like and comment on this stream. That's it. Like and comment. And we will give you, I will do it, we'll publicize it, we'll pull out a random premium member, and we will give this poster away. So thank you very much, Jesse. We appreciate it. Oh, I thought you were going to say something to him. So anyway.
I'm sending it. I'm saying it.
Well, we're going to pull it by email address through the premium membership, WeOnPicks.com. Click Become a Member. What a sloppy intro this has been between the chat bot, your videos freezing.
I absolutely love
mess.
It. We're the realest ones out there, no doubt in my mind. We're your favorite podcast. There's no doubt about that.
Okay. Anyway, if you want $50, all you need to do is go to WeOnPicks.com/bets. We have 5 different betting partners. Sign up with any one of them, make a deposit, and I will send you $50 as a thank you. That's WeWantPicks.com/bets. Sign up, make a deposit. I will send you $50. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, however you want it.
And real quick, the comment has to be after the video, not like in the live chat. Right.
Yeah,
because we can't keep track of the live chat. So after the video ends and the comments show up, then you'd put your comment. So, but we appreciate the comments in the live chat right now.
Yeah, of course. All right, well, let's jump right in. You and I made some money. We did well. Both of us cashed at UFC Paris. Both of us, solid picks. You hit your 9th underdog lock of the week in a row. They're gonna have to wait till Wednesday to find out who it is.
Which at this point isn't even a surprise anymore. Before, like when I hit 4 in a row, it was like, oh my god, 4 in a row. Now it's just like, you know what? Yeah, I hit another one. You know, surprise, surprise. I'm not surprised. Speaking of Diaz, I'm not surprised, motherfucker. You know, Angel says I can't cuss anymore.
No, we gotta tone that down.
Fuck it.
First up. At UFC 279, we have Darian Weeks taking on Yohan Lainesse, or Yohan. Darian Weeks is 5-2 overall, 3-2 in his last 5, and he is looking for his first UFC win. Yohan Lainesse is 8-1 overall, 4-1 in his last 5, coming off the KO loss to Gabe Green. And Darian Weeks is coming off that loss to Ian Gary, where even though he did have a takedown and 3 minutes of control time, he was completely outstruck. Style-wise, he's a wrestler who's very comfortable striking. He has real power in his hands. He has explosive takedowns, and he has legit submissions. He's a threat everywhere for the most part, but he has yet to need his takedown defense. But if you look at that and you go back, you do your research, he has very, very impressive takedown defense. He'll be balancing on one leg, hopping up, full split, full composure that entire time. Yohan Lainesse is a grappler. He can KO you with anything from a check hook to an overhand as well because he has insane power considering he is a grapple-first fighter. His striking is not technical, but again, he has that real power. He wings big, heavy punches while charging forward, and as soon as you get comfortable striking with him, he's going to shoot a double leg clean up the middle, and once he hits the ground, he works for control, and he just starts pounding away. Everything he does looks like it hurts, but he's definitely on the slower side of the division, and he does have a tendency to brawl, so a technical striker should be able to pick him apart. And the reason I think this is an interesting fight is this is going to be the first opponent in the UFC, at least for Darian Weeks, that, is actually looking to grapple with him. Everybody else was striking with him. So now he finally gets to use his wrestling, and I love Darian in this matchup. I think he's going to be the better striker, and even if he doesn't have that same raw power as Yohan, he should be more technically sound. He's absolutely going to be faster, because I mentioned Yohan is physically slow. I think their takedowns are going to be about the same, but the difference is absolutely going to be takedown defense. Darian's takedown defense is incredible. It's like old school BJ Penn with just insane flexibility and composure that whole time. This is a split, by the way. This leg is up in the air, and he's bouncing on the other one. I think Darian wins this fight. He can dictate if it's on the feet. He can dictate if it goes to the mat. So Darian is the pick, and I got a little tiny money line bet on him. What do you think, Jakey boy? You and I, real quick, were split on a bunch of fights last week, but we still both ended up with very good picks, and we both ended up making money, which is always interesting how that happens because we pick our spots with the bets. Well, I think we're split a bunch this week, too.
Yeah, but I think last week there was only one fight really that we were split where we disagreed on the analysis of the fight. And that's what we always tell people every single week. Even when picks are this or we're split on picks, usually our analysis is pretty much the same. It'll be like, I think this person's going to get the takedowns. And I'm saying, if they get the takedowns, I do think that they will win, but I don't think they're going to get the takedown. So a lot of our analysis is the same, and we're always right on the analysis, Angel. I mean, 95% of the time we're right on the analysis. I almost dropped an F-bomb right there. It's going to be very hard for me. This breakdown is going to come down to, I think, whoever is able to dictate the pace and pressure is going to win this fight. And in my mind, Darian Weeks is very, very good at that. Even in that Ian Gary fight, and Ian Gary, by the way, I know a lot of people hate him. I think he's a really, really fantastic fighter. Really dangerous counter striker as well. And Darian was still able to walk him down. He wasn't as active, and there wasn't as much volume as I would have liked to see, but being the counter striker Ian Gary is, you can kind of understand that. But he was still able to get inside and clinch and pressure Ian Gary. And I love that because when you watch Yohan fight, especially his last fight, he went into that fight bragging about his conditioning. Nobody works hard. I'm conditioned. The second his conditioning started to fail, and that was like early second round, and obviously it was failing because he was trying to chase a finish. He had the guy hurt, and he took him down. He's trying to chase a finish, so there was a reason it failed. But the second it failed, that dude absolutely shelled up and quit. And when it comes to this fight, which I think they're very skill-wise, they're very even. Darian, I agree. I don't think the wrestling of Yohan's going to be an issue for Darian. So I think it's going to be more of a standing fight. Darian's a little bit more technical. Yohan with the power, as you mentioned already. But when this comes down to pace, pressure, and just flat-out toughness, I'm going to take Darian over Yohan 10 out of 10 times. And I think that's what it comes down to. Whoever's able to dictate the pace, pressure, and show some real toughness in this fight is going to win this fight. And that's 10 out of 10. I'll pick Darian 100% because Yohan, the second he was tired and started turning from a hammer to a nail. Some people can't be nails. Angelo, you can be a hammer, can't be a nail. I'm a fantastic nail. Nobody gets nailed better than me, Angelo. I'm positive. Yeah, so I'm going with Darian Weeks. But Yohan's power is real. It is real, but I'm going with Darian Weeks.
For some reason I thought we were split on this, so it's nice to hear we are not. And DraftKings dead even. The money line is pretty even as well. Darian Weeks is an okay favorite, but not anything significant. DraftKings the same thing. I don't know if I'm going to spend the $8,200, but there probably is some value. Obviously, if you can get a stoppage, he's definitely worth it. And I think there's probably a stoppage in this fight, or very well could be, because Yohan's got that big power. And like you said, if Darian starts pushing, getting on top, pounding away, Yohan may fold up. What do you think of DraftKings?
Yeah, I think people always mention that you got to have somebody in this range to have the optimal lineup. So maybe it's a play, but Honestly, I think the value might be in Yohan. With the more aggressive wrestling and the knockout power, he's probably the better value of the two, even though my pick is Darian, if that makes sense.
I guess. I mean, we're talking $200 in difference in DraftKings. It's not like, Jesus, dude. Monkey Knife Fight strike line, 73 to 57. That's a pretty wide gap. And I guess that's just assuming Darian's going to get the takedowns. And he's faster, so he'll probably land a little more than Yohan taking his time. What do you think of that Monkey Knife Fight strike line? I don't know what to do with that.
I think it's a more. I think Darian's pushing the pressure. Yohan's still throwing back. I think it's probably more. Both these guys are, I guess I was going to say both these guys are tough, but I just kind of slammed Yohan. But he's probably going to show up a little bit better in this fight. I think it's a more.
Well, if you know what you want to do with that Monkey Knife Fight strike line, go to WeWantPicks.com/MKF. It's daily fantasy. All you need to do is say more or less on the strike line, and if you're right, you can triple your money. It's pretty fun, pretty easy to do. And if you want $50 for free, WeWantPicks.com/bets. Sign up, make a deposit, and we'll send you $50 as a thank you. Next up, at UFC 279, we have Elise Reed taking on Melissa Martinez. Elise Reed is 5-2 overall, 3-2 in her last 5, and she is coming off the TKO loss to Sam Hughes. Melissa Martinez is 7-0 overall, undefeated in her career, and she is making her UFC debut. Elise Reed's a very active fighter. She never slows down. She has very good power for the weight class as well. She's got decent grappling and really good cardio. She can be hot and cold in her performances, though, right? She had that big upset win over Corey McKenna, where she was able to showcase how talented she actually can be. And then she came back and she was just dismantled by Sam Hughes. Melissa Martinez is a powerful striker who can knock anyone out in this weight class. I mean, I know it's 115-pound women, but Melissa Martinez has some very real power in her hands. She's an active striker with solid footwork and good enough takedown defense to keep it on her feet. But her grappling isn't only takedown defense. She does have some solid trips and uchimatas off the cage as well if she's looking to get her own takedown. If she does get taken down, she does not have much to offer offensively, but does have solid defense on the ground. And this is her UFC debut, and it's definitely going to be the biggest test of her career. But she's proven to be tough and proven to be able to battle back from adversity. If you watch her fight against Desiree Yanez, she was full-blown mounted, completely dominated, but she never lost focus, just shook it off, went out there, put it together, and then ended up winning that fight. And honestly, that, to me, watching that was tremendous, because Elise Reed was not able to do that versus Sam Hughes. And I like Melissa Martinez here. I think she's got legit power on her feet. She's got solid takedown defense, and she does have some clinch throws if she needs them. Elise is ridiculously active. She's likely going to look to dance around the outside, but I think Melissa's going to have the cleaner technique, definitely more power. You know, we can't ignore the fact that all of Elise's losses are grappling based, right? She hasn't really lost a striking match before, so that could be a little worrisome, but I just don't think she's going to be able to do it. So Melissa's the pick. She was minus 140 or something like that when I did the quick picks video. I did not put a money line bet, and that line is moving. Now I'm definitely not going to do a money line bet because she is a UFC debut, but the money seems to be on the Melissa Martinez side. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, when you mentioned toughness, 110, 120, maybe 150%. The toughness is on the Melissa side. There is no doubt about that. The side of Melissa is very, very tough. Mexican tough. You know I love my Mexicans. Nobody tougher in the world. Mexicans, Hawaiians, nobody tougher in the world. So let's get that out of the way first of all, because Elise Reed flat out quit in that Sam Hughes fight. She got taken down in the third round and just gave up. Didn't try to do anything. Realized she was on her back and didn't try to do anything. But with that said, when you look at the striking of these two, and maybe I'm missing something because these odds are getting even wider than what they are there. I think it was minus 150 now. I looked at it as like minus 175, something like that for Melissa. And Melissa is a powerful striker. But when I watch these two strike, Melissa looks like somebody that could be a good striker, but is very, very raw in the way that she strikes. I see a lot of just weird looping shots. There's no head movement. There's no bobbing in and out. It doesn't look like a boxer. It just looks like one of those regional fighters, which she is. So credit to her. One of those regional fighters just throwing the big shots, and occasionally it lands, and it hurts her opponents. Where Elise Reed, when I watch her strike, everything's very technical. You mentioned the volume, you mentioned the speed, but everything is powerful and boom, boom, 1-2, and she's moving and she's bobbing and weaving. I think that this is a straight up kickboxing match. It stays on the feet. Both these girls want to strike. And I mean, my motto is always to go with the more technical striker in a mostly striking battle. And I 100% believe in my mind that Elise Reed is the more technical striker in this matchup. And I just think that her technicality is going to be able to land those shots over Melissa. Now, if it starts brawling, it starts turning ugly, I'm going to side with Melissa 10 out of 10 times because she is the much tougher fighter. But in a striking match where it comes down to technical strikes, I got to side with Elise Reed here. And honestly, this is one of those situations. I told myself I'm never going to bet women's fights again. Never again. But if I was, I think I might sprinkle a little bit on Elise Reed money line, honestly. So I like Elise Reed in this matchup, unfortunately, but I just think she's a more technical fighter.
Unfortunately. Yeah, I'm not gonna completely disagree. I like Melissa Martinez. I think, she's just so tough. She hits very hard. She can scramble. She can get takedowns. She can defend takedowns. But yes, Elise Reed, because if we go back, I don't remember if I picked her to beat Courtney McKenna or not, but I was very clear. Elise Reed is much better than what you saw in her fight against Sijara Eubanks. And I do feel that way. Elise Reed's a good fighter. I was the same way with Sam Hughes, right? Like, she's better than what you see.
I think I picked her in that Sam Hughes fight. And you saw in the first round, she's just like, Sam Hughes was just a human punching bag until she got that first takedown. And if Melissa comes in with a grapple-heavy game plan, which she should.
And she may.
Yeah, and she may. She absolutely will win. But, I think it's going to be striking and at least a little bit more tactical.
And she might. I mentioned she's got Uchimatas, which, if you don't know, those are like a whizzer, and you throw it. Yeah, I bet you
and
do.
You
got a whizzer, you kick out the leg.
Yep, you do that with
a trip, across the hip.
Yep.
Okay. Congratulations.
You bring them over like this, straight into a darce, like that.
Okay, well done. That's impressive stuff.
Thank you.
DraftKings 77 to 85. You think Elise Reed's worth is $7,700?
I'll be honest.
She's an underdog. You think she wins?
I started setting some lineups, and I do have her in one lineup, I think. Just one.
The problem is if she does win, it's just a million jabs, and I don't know how that really scores in a 3-round fight.
Yeah, because she's not going to. There's no way. I don't want to say it now, but there's no way she finishes Melissa. I wouldn't think so.
But
I just don't like a lot of underdogs. I don't like a lot of underdogs on this. So when I see $7,700 on somebody I think is going to win, I got to try her out.
Sure. No, it makes sense. And listen, $8,500 for Melissa Martinez. I'm probably not going to do it, but if you think she gets those takedowns, those trips, those throws, then yeah, she can just elbow sandwich her way to a win and get that done. So I'm not going to spend the $8,500, but it's food based.
Yeah.
That monkey knife fight strike line 61 to 73. I think it's a more and more situation. I think they go at it. Melissa's line, we don't know. We haven't seen enough UFC. We don't have any data on her to really look at that number and see what she does. But I think it is a more and more situation. I think they're going to go at it. UFC debut. Hopefully she's ready and just starts swinging away. You think it's a less?
Yeah, I think this is a all-you-can-eat buffet of strikes for these two women.
Listen, I'll do the food analogies all night. Fine with me, man. Fine with me. Yeah, that's the pick. Jacob and I are split on this one. If you want 50 free bucks,
I honestly don't know why anybody watches. It doesn't make sense to me.
They do. We do.
Like the stream.
Yeah, we do over 100,000 views on a rolling 28 days, which is pretty impressive. They like us. I don't like us.
Well, they like one of us.
Yeah, sure. You'll work at it, though. Stop doing the stupid, goofy shit.
We both know who they're here for.
Anyway, WeWantPicks.com/bet. Sign up, make a deposit. We'll send you $50 and become a member. It is only $10 a month. That's nothing. We're basically giving it away. It comes with a DraftKings optimizer. All of our bets, Jacob has like 6 or 7 bets up for UFC 279. I have 5 or 6 bets up for UFC 279, including prop bets that we don't really talk about every single bet here, right? We talk about our money lines, some of the obvious ones, but there's a bunch of round line bets and prop bets we have not talked about and probably won't. Maybe we will. I'm not like consciously keeping them secret, but WeWantPicks.com at the top. Click become a member. It is $2.50 a week, and we're doing a giveaway. We're doing a giveaway this week. Premium members can win that Daniel Rodriguez poster. Next up, at UFC 279, 279. We have one of the more interesting fight on the card. A lot of people have been talking about this fight. We got Chad Anheliger taking on Heili Alateng. Chad Anheliger, and I'm butchering that last name, is 12-5 overall. He is riding a 10-fight win streak, and he is coming off a third-round KO over Jesse Strader. Heili Alateng is 15-8 overall, 3-1-1 in his last 5, coming off the very quick knockout over Kevin Croom. And Chad Anheliger is a very real prospect. His fighting style is just power striker with solid BJJ if it gets to the ground, and that's essentially how he won his last fight against Jesse Strader, right? He blasted him and then pounced for the finish on the ground. He sets a nice pace. He hits incredibly hard. His takedown defense is, there's some to be desired there, but his sweeps and get-up game is very impressive. If he gets on top, he will just tee off. He is 2-0 in the UFC, which is very impressive considering he was taken down 9 times in those fights. The dude has given up 9 takedowns in 2 fights and still won those fights. Heili Alateng is a technical striker that can work in grappling if he needs to. He took down Ryan Benoit 4 times and Dana Bagarai 3 times in those wins. The problem can be, though, that he's technical. And so he can struggle with brawlers, high energy, high pace, in-your-face kind of guys because he needs to be doing all the individual steps in the fights, right? He's almost too technical for his own good sometimes. But he did just absolutely decimate Kevin Croom in less than a minute. And that was like, I don't even know. Luckily, these aren't like... And it was just nice to see because he came charging forward and lit him up instead of waiting, which is what we've seen him do in the past. Heili is a well-rounded fighter, and he is better than his current UFC record. And I'm going to go with the underdog here. I like Chad Anheliger. I have been very high on Heili Alateng in the past, but I like Chad's power. I like his ability to just completely not give a crap if he's taken down. He doesn't let it frustrate him at all. He just works right back up and he just starts firing away. So I see Heili actually working in grappling, getting some takedowns, just like he did against Dana, and that does worry me. But if Chad has proven anything, it's that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you take him down because he will get up, he will work, and he will get it done. So I like Chad Anheliger in this fight, and I do expect him to get taken down as well, which will worry me, but like I said, he's proven that it doesn't really matter. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. This was the toughest one for me to pick. I think this is probably the toughest one for a lot of people on this matchup. This one and probably the Cutelaba and Johnny Walker, just because that's such a weird fight, but we'll get to that one. Because both these guys are skilled, man. Both these guys are very skilled guys. And a lot of the fights on this card are going to be good matchups versus people that just like are just kind of okay, but they're matched up together, so it's going to be probably a good fight. These are 2 pretty skilled guys, and even their records, I think they're much better than the records. Chad, 5 losses, all before 2016, hasn't lost in forever. Heili Alateng is kind of the same way, had a lot of losses early on a nice little streak. Obviously, the loss to Casey Kinney, but, you know, Alateng is a guy that is supposed to be this, like, national wrestler that just refuses to use his wrestling, and he'll sprinkle it in from time to time and use it, you know, sparingly, but he just, as you mentioned, a very technical striker, some really nice power in his hands. And in this matchup, if he would just use his wrestling, I think he could have some real success. You know, Chad is a guy that, as you mentioned, will scramble back to his feet, has decent jiu-jitsu, but the reason he gets taken down so much is his love for the guillotine. He is one of those guys that when you take a shot on him, he's not defending a shot. He's trying to pull guillotine, and then he ends up on his butt. And yes, he gets back to his feet, and yes, he scrambles back, and he's back in the fight. But when you keep getting taken down, try to chase that guillotine, all of a sudden you're down a round, you're down 2 rounds, and now you have lost the fight. So if Alateng came in and I knew that he was going to wrestle, at least throw in a couple takedowns around, I would definitely be all in on him. Chad, as a striker, as you mentioned, is a good striker. He's well-rounded everywhere, but his striking reminds me of especially his defensive striking, reminds me of Bobby Green. Not as good as Bobby Green, but the same type of style. Hands down, a lot of head movement. He'll even kind of shoulder shrug everything off with that shoulder roll as well. But that kind of worries me in this matchup because Alateng he's not the fastest striker, but he's so technical and has just enough power in his hands that when you're rolling the wrong way at the wrong time and you get hit with that one shot, it's going to be lights out versus this guy. So, you know, this is a tough pick for me. I'm going to side with Alateng just because he's got a little bit of the power advantage, and I don't love the hands down head movement of Chad. But if Chad comes in and wins this, I'm not going to be surprised at all. But unfortunately, my pick is Alateng in this matchup. This is I went back and forth. Even when I'm saying it out loud, I kind of want to pick Chad, but I'm going with Alateng just for the power and the backdoor wrestling if he has it. And I love backdoor wrestling. You know what I mean?
I bet you do. Backdoor midget wrestling. Listen, I'm not gonna. I obviously I like Chad, and I laid out why. But Heili is big. He's strong. He's technical. He can grapple. He should win this fight. He should absolutely be able to win this fight. And he's the favorite, so he's supposed to win this fight. What?
No, I was just gonna. I forgot to mention that the Alateng and Gustavo Lopez fight. That was a draw that I think Alateng was going to win, but he lost a point for fence grabbing. I think that's how it played out. I think that this fight looks exactly like the Gustavo Lopez fight for Alateng. Just a back and forth, brawling at times, some takedowns mixed in on both sides. That was a great fight, and it's going to be a war, and this should be a fun fight.
It should be very, very fun. And like I said, what I love about Chad is you take him down, he does not care. He doesn't care. He'll work back up. He'll start firing away. And he's got enough gas to defend as many as he needs to and keep pushing the pace. He's not going to get tired defending anything. So DraftKings 7,884. I will probably spend that 7,800. I think he wins, and he certainly will be live for a knockout if he's proven anything. What do you think?
He's not going to be in mine.
Yeah, I know.
God bless you for it.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Monkey Knife Eye Strike Line 71-51. Another high line. Another high line. What do you think of that Monkey Knife Eye Strike Line? The Chad one is the problem.
Nah, I love this more and more. I think these little guys go at it.
I think they will too. I just 71 it just starts to creep up there, but I think so too. If you want to give that line a shot, WeWantPicks.com/MKF. It's daily fantasy.
And if you want to get this line's a shot, follow me on Instagram.
They will instantly match your deposit up to $100. You give them 50, they'll give you 50. You give them 100.
Do you get it though?
They will give you 100. Yeah, no, I got it. Oh, your last name's Lines. Got it. Cool. Guys, become a premium member.
Nailed it.
Yeah, no, it's definitely we're
I wrote that one 2 weeks ago. I couldn't wait to get it out. This is
one of our lowest quality.
Well, it's a Monday. Usually we have a full. Usually we do this. If you guys didn't know, usually on Mondays we do this full thing. We don't record it. We just go through. We rehearse it. Full audition.
Like American Idol.
We show it to our families and friends. They critique it, and then we do the live thing on Tuesday. So this is just the rough draft that you're seeing.
Yeah, I don't tell my family I do this. Anyway, WeOwnPicks.com.
My mom is very proud of me.
Click become a member. It's $10 a month. That's absolutely nothing. Early access to all of our bets. Early access to the Prize Picks lines. A full DraftKings optimizer to build lineups for you. All for $10, and I will never raise that price. Somebody in the comment section was like, hey, do 2 pricing tiers. And no. It is going to stay $10 forever, and we're just going to keep adding and adding and adding. And this week, we are doing a giveaway. Any one of our premium members who likes this and comments on the video will be applicable, will be entered into the giveaway for a signed Daniel Rodriguez poster. Thanks to Jesse Correa that you'll see in the comments all over this channel. Next up at UFC 279, we have Norma Dumont taking on Danyelle Wolf. Norma Dumont 7-2 overall, 3-2 in her last 5, and she is coming off the grappling loss to Macy Chasson. Danyelle Wolf is only 1-0 in her MMA career, but she has a world of boxing experience. And Norma Dumont's a very good striker who's relaxed and patient in the cage. Her striking is very technical, and she did have a 100% takedown defense before getting taken down 6 times by Macy in her last fight. If you look at her strike differential, she's landing about 4-2, which is a pretty solid, striking differential for this division. And on top of her technical striking, she does have grappling as well. Her takedowns are not great, but she does have takedowns in 4 of her 5 UFC fights, including 2 against Ashley Evans Smith. Her grappling is more defensive than offensive, but she's got solid top pressure and control. Danyelle Wolf has almost no MMA experience whatsoever, but she's got worlds of combat experience. She's a very high-level boxer with many national championships, and the only reason she didn't compete in the Olympics is because they did not have her weight class that year round. She fights exactly as you would expect a high-level boxer to fight. She's got great footwork, solid defense, decent power. We just have no idea what her takedown defense is going to look like. I imagine that's why these odds are what they are. Is okay, take her down. And right now, you can see here, Norma Dumont is almost a 4-1 favorite, and this is moving quickly. She was basically a 3-1 favorite the other day, and this is already ballooning up. And I get it, right? She's one of the better fighters in the world's best MMA promotion, but she's also primarily a striker, and she is fighting a striker who should be worlds ahead of her if we're just going punch for punch. If Norma didn't have the takedowns that she does, I'd be all over Danyelle here. But, unfortunately for that, Norma does have the takedowns that she does. She's got 5 takedowns, and I imagine she's going to grapple heavy in this fight. I got no bets whatsoever, but I think I'm going to be rooting for Danyelle just because it'd be cool for her to come in here, just blast somebody as good as Norma and really shake things up in the division. But she's going to get taken down, and that's going to be the end of that. What do you think, Jakey boy?
I don't know if it's going to be as simple as everyone thinks, and obviously that's why the odds are the way they are. You bring in a basically an Olympic caliber boxer in Wolf. By the way, 38 years old, one mixed martial arts fight, and that was 2 years ago. I mean, that was 2 years ago, Contender Series fight. But I kind of like that it was 2 years ago. If that was 6 months ago, yeah. I'm like, okay, Norma Dumont, because you could tell in that fight she understood where to be when the takedown started to come, and obviously the girl she was fighting wasn't a takedown artist at all, but just in those clinch situations, you could see, okay, I need to dig an underhook, but you could see she was kind of thinking, walking through it, and against any type of wrestler, she probably would have been taken down. So if that was 6 months ago, I'm a little bit worried. 2 years ago, so now she has 2 years to train MMA. It seems like she's at Kings MMA, which is a very, very, very good team. They have very, very high-level wrestlers there and just all-around talent there at Kings MMA. I love that it was 2 years ago that she's had a good camp this whole time. I actually think that she's going to come in and she's going to surprise some people. I think that Norma Dumont, as you mentioned, isn't a natural wrestler. She's a kickboxer. She's in the she does a Sando? It's the Chinese kickboxing. So she is a striker in her own right as well. And you saw that against Macy Chiasson. She was taken down over and over and over. But the second she started landing power on Macy Chiasson, she is a very, very good striker. But she's not going to be the better striker in this matchup. I'm not going to pick Wolf, but I think she's going to surprise some people. 2 years off, you don't know what's going on. I guarantee the whole time she's just been drilling. Takedown defense, takedown defense, takedown defense, takedown defense. And if she can just shrug off a couple takedowns and lay in a few shots, boom, boom, with that boxing, all of a sudden Norma is wide-eyed and doesn't know what the hell is going on in there. So my pick's going to be Norma. I think if you pick against her, that's fine. The safe play is Norma. But, I think Wolf's going to surprise some people, and I think I'm going to sprinkle her into a lineup on DraftKings.
Yeah, I mean, obviously she's got potential. Do me a favor, kick that dude out of the chat. Obviously she's got potential. Literally, like we mentioned, should be an Olympic boxer. She's phenomenal. But takedowns are takedowns, and this is an MMA fight. That's why I have no bet here, because I can see what you're talking about. Anything can happen. And who knows what that takedown defense looks like a few years later, because Norma's not a grappler. She's a striker who has learned how to grapple. The odds are just too crazy for me to do anything, but I do think Norma probably wins. And then I'm not spending $9,200 on DraftKings. No way. Although she could probably just get the takedowns and then get a stoppage. But still, too many questions there. But Monkey Knife Fight Strike Line 86 to 63. I'm not touching it. As much as I want to push the promo code, I'm not touching it. So Norma Dumont's going to land 86 punches on a quote-unquote Olympic boxer? No way.
Well, if she gets taken down,
if she gets takedowns, sure. But if she gets takedowns, she'll just get a stoppage, and she won't even get she'll probably just get a submission. But yes, maybe. I mean, I'm just not going to touch it. There's too many questions here. Too early in her career. Too skilled in boxing. It's just too much going on, so not touching it. Are you going to do anything with that Monkey Knife Fight Strike Line?
No, if you're not touching anything, I'm not touching it. Solidarity.
Good. I'm sure the ladies in the chat are very appreciative of that. WeOnPicks.com. Become a premium member. It is $10 a month, and you get full access to all of our bets, all of our picks, prize picks, fantasy, and a DraftKings optimizer as early as possible. And Joey Todoro gifted a membership. So thank you very much, Joe.
Drum roll, please.
Thank you very much, Joe. We appreciate you. We appreciate the support.
Who's it going to? It usually says.
We'll find out. Well, we'll find out in a minute. You ready? Let's go. Oh, and before we go, Jesse. Thank you, Jesse. This is like him congratulating Joe, but this is the comment I saw. Jesse's the one who has donated the poster for the premium membership giveaway. So thank you very much, Jesse. Somebody's going to get that D-Rod signed poster. Next up, at UFC 279, we have Jake Collier taking on Chris Barnett in a battle of the heavyweights. Jake Collier is 13-7 overall, 2-3 in his last 5, coming off that bad decision to Andrei Arlovski. Chris Barnett is 22-8 overall, 3-2 in his last 5, and he's coming off that forfeit, essentially. It wasn't technically the forfeit to Martin Bidet. And as you know by now, Jake Collier used to be a middleweight, pretty big guy, jacked, looked good, went up to light heavyweight, and now this is what he looks like at heavyweight. But he is still a solid fighter, right? Technique-wise, he's a volume striker. He's got good forward pressure. Not much power, though, for the division. But he did showcase how well-rounded he is when he did that submission over Chase Sherman. And then most recently, he took Andrei Arlovski down twice in that fight. And I had a moneyline bet on Andrei Arlovski. The bet cashed, but Jake won that fight. So, you know, it was a bad decision that worked in my favor, but it says a lot about Jake because he essentially should be coming off of a win over a Hall of Famer. Chris Barnett doesn't look like it, but he's incredibly athletic. He's shockingly dynamic. He's got very real power, and he will manage to land strikes, even though he almost always has the shorter reach. And he hasn't taken his career too seriously in the past, but since joining the UFC, he has stepped up his training, and he is doing the right things as far as that is concerned. The issue with Chris, though, is while he is powerful and athletic, he doesn't handle pressure well, right? Martin Bidet was just able to push him around and ultimately just broke him in that fight. He was being outstruck, outbullied. He would just plant and throw wild bombs, but they weren't connecting. And Jake's sitting at a big favorite here, and this has moved. I just did quick picks yesterday, and it's already moved past minus 400. We're at minus 425. And I think that's a lot of recency bias, right? Jake essentially beat Andrei Arlovski, so great. People see that. They remember that. And Chris tried to pull an Aljamain Sterling and get himself a DQ win. Didn't work, so he's coming off that, embarrassing loss. But if we put those last 2 fights aside and we just look at their abilities, Chris has a higher ceiling. He's faster. He's more athletic. He hits harder. Jake will absolutely be tougher and more well-rounded. So this is just going to come down to Chris's toughness. And if Chris stays active and he pushes and he works in the power, he works in the versatility, I think he could dominate this fight. But if he's just planting, looking for big one shot at a time, he's going to be outstruck. And unfortunately, I think that's what's going to happen. I think Chris is just going to plant, throw big bombs, looking to connect. So I got to go with Jake Collier here. But I think this line's a bit disrespectful because outside of his last fight when he straight up quit, Chris Barnett is good, man. Good. What the hell are you doing?
I'm trying to look at that's like the pointiest nipple I have ever seen in my life. Do you see that thing?
This one
look
here?
Look at Jake's
yeah,
left nipple.
It's not great.
Holy guacamole, that thing.
Okay.
Jesus
all right. I'm going to need to see your hands above the table while you do this breakdown.
Shit. The whole Chris, if he presses forward, can dominate this fight seems a little bit crazy to me. Seems a little bit crazy to me. This is a copy and if you're Jake Collier in this matchup, you take the Martin Bidet fight, you copy and paste it, and you just do that. You got to crowd this guy because both these guys are very athletic heavyweights. Don't let their bodies fool you, as we saw with Chris Barnett with that spinning wheel kick against whatever his name is, Jean Vellante. Both these guys are athletic guys, but in space, that's where Chris is going to shine. He's got to have this space. So if you're Jake Collier, you got to do it what Bidet did and what you did to Arlovski too, because he basically did the exact same thing to Arlovski. Just got in, crowd him, press him against the cage. So just take that, make it as boring as possible, get your win, get out of there. I don't know if this is kind of set up for him to win because I don't know if the UFC cares about Jake Collier getting wins in the heavyweight division. But
it's a weird fight because I assumed the UFC
I didn't realize I was
Barnett.
Done.
Yeah,
that's interesting because I didn't realize I was done, but I guess I was done. So
you were done.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't know why the UFC put this together because Chris Barnett, I assume they wanted to push him after he got that spinning wheel kick. I'm sure they were like, great, let's give him some of those fights. But Then they're giving Jake Collier, and what do they care if Jake Collier gets a win? So I agree. It's weird.
No, 100%. Because of the two, Chris Barnett is the guy that, I don't want to say can sell a fight, but he's a fun dude to watch. And Jake Collier in his last fight, he just kind of lays and prays on people. That's his new technique to heavyweight division. Hats off for him. It's working, and maybe he's able to get like a top 15 opponent at some point. But, I hope that this is an opportunity for Chris to shine again. I hope he gets the space and is able to do the stuff because it's another pay-per-view. They obviously like him enough to keep putting him on pay-per-view cards. So maybe they feel like they see something against Jake where he can shine in this matchup. I hope. He seems like a great guy. He's a fun guy to watch. But unfortunately, I think just the playbook is there for Jake. He just comes in, lays on him, and gets his win.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what happens as well. But, we'll see. Hopefully Chris is aware enough, and he should be. He's got 30 fights, right? He's not stupid. He should be aware enough to know, like, all right, what they want from me is the show. And he should go put on the show, spin, throw big, and do that. Because even in a loss, he's super entertaining. You're like, oh, my God, look at this guy. So, anyway, $9,100 in DraftKings. He's probably worth it because he probably gets a ton of control time, potentially a finish. So, he honestly is probably worth that, even though that is a lot of money to spend, especially on heavyweights. What do you think?
It seems so insane. If you told anyone that you're going to spend $9,100 on Jake Collier, it's like, who are you? Hopefully he's fighting Angelo, for God's sake. Okay. But yeah, what'd you say? Oh, okay. Like you just banked that. Okay, there's another one. Just gonna bank that one. Okay, I'll remember that. But he's not in my lineup, but I do think I have him in a lineup, if that makes sense. So.
No, I hear you. Monkey Knife strike line 90-42. That's probably the most accurate line that we've broken down so far because Jake's busy, very busy, and Chris Barnett's not. He's athletic and he's super fast, but he waits. He waits to do the spin. He waits to throw the big punch. Like nothing is set up with a jab. It's just like big and spinning or big and spinning. So it's a really solid line. I'm definitely not going to touch it. What do you think of that Monkey Knife fight strike line?
It might be a less more.
Yeah, it's too tricky.
It's probably. I think it's less more because even against the cage, Chris is just kind of doing the thing that.
Possible. Well, guys, if you want your crack at an autographed Daniel Rodriguez poster, become a premium member. We are doing a giveaway for premium members only. Go to WeWantPicks.com. At the top, click Become a Member. It's just $10 a month, and that includes all of our bets early. Prize picks early, a DraftKings optimizer, and everything else to help you make money watching fights, and now a giveaway. And I think going forward, every giveaway we do will only be for premium members, just a little perk. We're not going to give away membership, but we will do perks for them. They're already there. They're getting the value, and now there's an opportunity to win a Daniel Rodriguez poster thanks to Jesse Correa. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. Next up at UFC 279, we have a rescheduled fight between Denis Tiuliulin and Jamie Pickett. Denis Tiuliulin. I always say Tiuliulin. Tiuliulin. Denis Tiuliulin is 10-6 overall, 3-2 in his last 5, and he is coming off a submission loss in his UFC debut. Jamie Pickett. What?
No, you got to start this one over. I'm sorry, you got to start this fucking thing over.
Why? Oh, Joey T.
Don't say, oh, Joey T. How about, hey, oh!
I didn't see
it. Joey T.
Joey T. with the $50 super chat. Thanks, my man Joe. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it. Nice. The $50 super chat, and he donated a membership.
Hey, Joey, I'll send you that custom video you wanted.
With left foot or right foot.
Casey O'Neill posted she's doing, if you guys didn't know, if you guys are feet people, I don't love gestures in here. Casey O'Neill said, if you guys like feet, here's a link, request feet videos. She said, I'll never do OnlyFans, but on her Twitter, she has a link you can request feet videos from Casey O'Neill. So there you go.
There you go. All right, well, back to the breakdown. Thank you very much.
That's where that $50 going, Joey T. We appreciate.
So next up at UFC 279, we have the rebooked fight between Denis Tiuliulin versus Jamie Pickett. I butchered that last name again. Denis Tiuliulin is 10-6 overall, 3-2 in his last 5, coming off a submission loss in his UFC debut. Jamie Pickett is 13-7, 2-3 in his last 5, and he's coming off that submission loss to Kyle Dawkins. And I mentioned this fight has been rescheduled. This is supposed to happen at UFC Vegas back in July. Jamie Pickett's a solid striker who uses his length to manage the range and keep people at bay. If you look at the stats, he has a 3-4 striking differential, so he has hit more than he hits his opponents, and that's 100% because he is gun shy. He just doesn't let his hands go like he should, and that can be frustrating to watch at times because you know he's the better striker in most matchups. He's just not throwing those strikes. Denis is really fun coming forward striker. He's always hunting for a finish. He has no problem getting into a slugfest, and I actually think that's what he wants to do. I don't think he just gets sucked into it. I think he's looking for that slugfest, and it's almost like his game plan is, let's make this as ugly and fast-paced as possible because he thrives in that chaos. He does have legit power in his hands, but he has some pretty big grappling holes here, and this could be a fun fight because even though he's gun-shy, what a buffoon. Even though he's gun-shy, Jamie Pickett is dangerous, and Denis loves making fights dirty. If Jamie manages the range and then engages with takedowns, which we've seen him do, he did it against Holmes, he did it against Staropoli, he did it against Chukwu, I can see him having some success there. But if he's just too patient with his strikes and he lets Tiuliulin get in his face, then I think he ends up in a war, and he doesn't want that. He's just not going to do well in that war. And right now, Pickett is trending down. He was pretty much a 2-1 favorite, and now he's trending down. This fight might actually flip with Denis being the favorite come fight night, but I do think it's a very close fight. Both these guys have very clear paths to victory. Denis can win a high-volume brawl. Pickett can win well-timed grappling. I'm going to lean Pickett because he does have 8 takedowns in the UFC, and he is an okay striker, and these low-volume guys are super frustrating. But if Jamie gets it to the ground, I think it's a clear win for him. So I got to go with Jamie here, but that's not a super high-confidence pick. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, if you guys follow my Twitter and you saw my Sunday breakdowns, which I guess was yesterday. I'm used to doing this on Tuesday. You saw it yesterday. I was breaking down this fight, going through, doing my notes. Denis is this, Jamie Pickett's this, and then I checked the odds. I could not believe that Jamie Pickett was the favorite in this fight. Not only was he a favorite, I think at the time he was like a minus 150, something like that. Could not believe he was the favorite in this fight. Listen, Jamie Pickett is well-rounded. Well-rounded. Jamie Pickett does not belong in the UFC. Jamie Pickett does not belong in the UFC. He is well-rounded, but he's slow in the striking, doesn't have a finish in the UFC, doesn't have real power. His wrestling's just okay. I've seen him kind of fold in fights as well. He can get taken down on his own right. And then when I look at my dude, Denis, man, this dude, Denis, is a savage. I understand he's got the losses as well. But you watch his last fight. That was a short notice fight. He was a plus 750 dog. I mean, dog going into that fight. And he came through and didn't give a fuck, Angelo. I know I'm not supposed to cuss, but in this situation, he did not care going into that fight, and he landed some clean 1-2s. I mean, those Nate Diaz just right down the pipe, straight across the jaw that probably drops 80% of the people it lands on, and this was against the dominant wrestling Russian. He attempted a takedown on the Russian. He went in and said, guess what? I'm going to take you down. Ankle picked the dude, nearly took him down. Eventually, obviously, he did get taken down. And 2 fights ago against another, I think, undefeated Russian or one lost Russian, another grapple-heavy Russian, he was also taken down. But if you watch those fights and you watch those takedowns, he's a tough dude to take down, man. He's been taken down by people that are very, very good wrestlers, and that's all they do basically is take people down. Jamie Pickett is not that guy. I mean, I don't know what to say. Jamie Pickett is not that dude that's shooting blast doubles and trying to take people down. His takedowns, especially in his last fight, are the most telegraphed things. I mean, he's just head down. Angelo, it would make you sick if you saw some of these takedown attempts. So when I watch this fight, I see the striking of Denis much cleaner than Jamie, much more powerful than Jamie. He's got that absolute dog in him. The guy's training with Sean Strickland, so you know he's a wild dude. But the takedown, maybe he does get the takedown. Maybe Jamie Pickett does get the takedown. I don't think the takedown is going to be an issue. I think it's of standing on the feet. Denis is just marching this dude down, 1s and 2s, straight down the pipe. Probably finds a finish. I'm Denis all the way, man. If you're a premium member, I got bets. You better become a premium member. So
that's a solid plug. Jacob does have a bunch of bets, prop bets, other bets on this fight and more. Go to WeWantPicks.com at the top. Nice little button there. Just click become a member. It is $10 a month. You hit one freaking bet. First of all, if you just follow, and I don't want to say follow the lock of the week because that's public, but if you just follow a couple bets, I mean, premium membership coming off UFC Paris, you could have paid for that for years. Years. I don't know what a unit is for you, but even if you only have a $10 unit, you paid for many months worth. WeWantPicks.com at the top. Click become a member. So listen, we're on opposite sides, but there's a spectrum to the picks, right? Mine's just a tiny touch, slight lean towards Jamie Pickett. I was pretty clear, low confidence pick, and I think, the grappling can get it done. You are very, very confident in Denis. So you average that out, I guess between the two of us, the pick is Denis essentially, because your
proof is in the pudding.
Your confidence is. What's
your thought on tapioca?
Okay. $7,900. I do think there is a ton of value there because Jamie Pickett, he's gun shy. He doesn't let his hands fly. I really don't see him getting a knockout. And, frankly, if he wins, it's the grappling. He gets the takedowns and he can work from there. So I don't know if he's worth the $8,300, even though I think he might win. So I agree. I think Tiuliulin, $7,900 in DraftKings, that's probably the play there. It's probably one of the more value guys on this card.
It's the best value in DraftKings.
All right. Monkey Knife Fight strike lines, 64-52. I definitely like the under on Jamie Pickett. He's just so low volume. It's frustrating as hell. Again, I'm picking Jamie Pickett because I think he can get the takedowns. Denis comes in brawling, and if JB ducks and shoots or works in a trip, he can get the takedowns. He can get it done. So I'm definitely the less on 52 there for Jamie Pickett. What do you think? Yes, you. Right.
Just one note talking about Jamie Pickett. This fight was supposed to be what you said in like July
UFC
or something
Vegas,
like that.
58 in July.
I guess they offered Jamie another opponent, and he said, no, I want to fight this guy. But then I watched an interview, and I sent it to you, Angelo. He said, I've never seen this guy fight. I don't know. He's one of those fighters that he doesn't watch the fights. He lets his coaches watch the fights, and they tell him how to fight. So he wanted to fight this guy, but at the same time, he's like, I've never seen him fight. I don't know what he does. So it's a weird situation there. I don't know.
It is weird. Unless, he was training for somebody. He said he let his coaches watch the fights. His coaches come up with a game plan.
Yeah, that's exactly what
and
I
he just
said.
blindly
Thanks,
follows them. So my point is, he's already done that once, so he's probably like, we'll just do that again. Stick with that game plan. Clown. I don't think that he sees something that this is how I'm going to do it. But we'll see what happens. Jacob and I are split on this fight, but Jacob far more confident in his pick than I am in mine. WeWantPicks.com/bets. Sign up with any one of our 5 betting partners. Make a deposit, and we'll send you $50. It's that simple. WeWantPicks.com. Sign up, make a deposit. I'll send you $50 as a thank you. Next up, at UFC 279. He's very pale. This is Powder.
Holy shit.
We got Jailton Almeida taking on Powder from the movie Powder. This is a short notice step up for Anton Turkalj. So we have no DraftKings pricing. We have no Monkey Knife Fight strike lines. But we do have Jailton Almeida taking on Anton.
You could have helped our dude out and adjusted some colors.
The fact that you're saying he's
shit.
pale, and obviously the exposure on our lights and stuff don't really sort of.
Dude, I've been out in the sun all week. So tan?
You're just one big freckle now, and that's the tan. Just one freckle. Anyway, we have Jailton Almeida taking on a short notice Anton Turkalj. Jailton Almeida 16-2 overall. He is riding an 11-fight win streak, and he is coming off a win in his heavyweight debut. Anton Turkalj is 8-0 in his career. He is undefeated, and he is coming off his first decision ever. Jailton Almeida is the real deal. He's a great prospect. He's got powerful hands, incredible grappling. All of his wins are by stoppage, and that's just because his non-stop pressure. He will come in hot and just relentlessly work for takedowns. Once he's on the ground, he'll chase that submission, and he'll hit you in every single transition. If he has a flaw, which I'm not saying he does, if he has a flaw, it's that, it's that he takes too many risks. And sometimes he does end up getting swept, or, he's defending submissions that he really didn't need to be there. He's had success at light heavyweight. He's had success at heavyweight. This fight is at a catch weight of 220 pounds. But Jailton Almeida is likely going to be the much bigger guy here. Anton Turkalj is fun, athletic, a solid striker who will mix it up on his feet, and he has no problem taking risks. He's incredibly diverse in his striking style, where he'll spin, he'll kick, he'll charge forward. He'll really just mix it all in together. And at times it can look sloppy, but it feels like it's calculated, right? It definitely looks sloppy, but it feels like he's choosing to do that. Like, he's not just being sloppy. He's like, I'm going to spin now. That's my plan. I categorize him as a striker, but he can absolutely grapple. His offensive BJJ is solid, and we know he has takedowns because he has 11 takedowns in that Contender Series win in July. His pressure is absolutely incredible, and that's what separates him from most people. He fights at a 100% pace, and it doesn't matter if he's striking or grappling. He's young in his career, but he has been training at a high level with high-level partners for a while now. And I mentioned this is at catchweight, but frankly, both of these guys are light heavyweights. Jailton was prepared to fight at heavyweight. Anton stepping up on short notice. I think Jailton's going to be the much larger guy in the cage. I don't even know if it matters. They could be the exact same size. And, yeah, I still got Jailton Almeida, dominating this fight. What is interesting is yesterday, when I did quick picks,
here we go.
Jailton Almeida was a minus 900. Now he's a minus 700. So for some reason, people are betting on Anton Turkalj, and I'm not saying that Anton's going to win because Jailton is absolutely the pick, but Anton has power, pressure, grappling. If he just charges forward, bombing away, looking to grapple, he may have some success. Jailton is definitely the pick, but it is interesting to see that line movement. I actually would have thought that he would have ended up a minus 2,000 favorite, 1,500 favorite, not going the other direction. What do you think?
That is a little bit surprising to see the odds move that way. And somebody asked what the catch weight is. I believe it's 220 pounds, which I don't think will hurt Jailton at all. He was preparing for heavyweight. I think, if anything, that extra 15 pounds from the 205 is going to help him, where this should have been a 205 fight. Listen, if you're Anton in this fight, you just got to find a way to get out of the first round. You just have to get out of the first round, find a way to survive, and then just see what happens after that. Because Jailton Almeida is one of those dudes that is a first-round finish guy. And I know he's been out of the first round before, but with all that muscle, and trust me, believe me, all that muscle, all that power, all those fast twitch muscles, I gas easy. I'm sure that Almeida gasses easy as well. So that first takedown, the second takedown, whatever it is, if you're Anton, you got to find a way to win that scramble. And if you can get Jailton to defensive wrestle at all, get that little bit of panic, a little bit of doubt in his mind, and get out of the first round with that, anything can happen. I mean, when people get tired, anything can happen. Once your gas tank goes, everything goes. So you just got to survive the first round. If anything, I think you come across and try to offensive wrestle. I think you put the pressure on him and just try to wear him out as quickly as you can. I know it's still short notice for him as well, so who knows what his gas tank is. Maybe the catch weight kind of throws him off as well. But, you just got to you got to try to make this guy give a little bit of effort, because so far in a lot of his fights, there's not much effort. I think that was your point in the Parker Porter fight. I think Parker Porter is a good enough wrestler and a big dude that he's going to struggle. And
I thought he was going to have a hard time with those big hips.
Once he starts struggling, anything's going to happen. But he shot that double and there's a whoa, and just slaying Parker down. It's like, uh-oh. So, obviously I'm Jailton all the way. I think he's the real deal, but you just got to survive that first round. Once those big, strong dudes like myself get out of the first round, anything is possible. Ask all your moms. Once we get out of the first round, it's tough. So,
Kickbert out of the chat, spamming bullshit. Gone.
I think it's a bot. It was a bot earlier from a different MMA channel as well. I don't think it's actually him. But go ahead.
Well, either way, whatever that label is, kick it out. Anyway, so I think we're on the same page, right? Jailton dominates this fight, but there is a path for Anton. It is possible. Dude hits hard. Dude works hard. It is very possible. The line movement is crazy to me. If Jailton ends up like minus 400, I'll bet the shit out.
No.
I mean, I'm very.
Well, yeah, but
I'm very confident. It's definitely not gonna happen. But hey,
I was even looking at some. Yeah, I was even looking at like some minus 3.5 to try and get better value on him, and even that is like minus 600. So it's tough to get value on him for good reason.
Yeah, I mean, I just can't believe that line movement went that direction. I thought him and Chimaev would be like, oh, bang, massive. You didn't kick this dude out.
I did, yeah.
Anyway,
I think they're bot. It's not actually Bert. They're like weird bots. I don't know what they are.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Can't you just still kick that username out, whether it's fake or not? Well, you just cut out. I can't hear a single word you're saying. I don't know if it's on my end or yours. Anyway, WeWantPicks.com. Become a premium member. You will see that at the top. We are giving away a Daniel Rodriguez signed poster. Signed poster from Daniel Rodriguez, thanks to Jesse Correa in the chat. WeWantPicks.com. Become a member. It is $10 a month. Early access to bets. Early access to prize picks lines. A DraftKings optimizer. Early access to all of our picks. Literally everything for $10 a month. And now a giveaway. Next up, at UFC 279, we have Hakeem Dawodu taking on Julian Erosa. Hakeem Dawodu is 13-2 overall, 4-1 in his last 5, coming off the impressive win over Mike Trizano. Julian Erosa, 27-9 overall, 4-1 in his last 5, coming off the fight of the night win over Steve Peterson. Hakeem Dawodu is a high-level striker who throws everything with power. He sets a nice forward pressure pace, and he still manages to have excellent counter punches. He will walk forward throwing leg kicks and straights, and when you fire back, he dips his head, and then he just throws again. He's incredibly technical and has very real power. He's coming off that dominant win over Mike Trizano, where he more than doubled his strikes, and that is a fantastic win because Mike is also a very solid striker. Julian Erosa is incredibly fun to watch. He's a very violent striker with a ton of finishes. He throws absolutely everything with intent, and even if he is hittable, which he is, for the most part it's been fine because he's got a solid chin. He does have his most success fighting at range, but he has no problem getting sucked into a firefight. He's got solid MMA jiu-jitsu if he needs it, and we saw that against Charles Jourdain, but it's not something he's looking for. And when he does get taken down, when he does get a takedown, it's mostly for damage. He's coming off that win over Steve Peterson where, frankly, he relied way too much on his chin, and he only won that fight because of a couple of late takedowns. And I love Dawodu in this matchup, and it honestly just comes down to their last fights. Hakeem won a technical striking match against a very high-level striker, and Julian was losing a striking match against a low-level striker. He relied on his chin, and then he got a late takedown to lock that up. So that's just not going to fly in this fight. Hakeem is not Steve Peterson, and I think he has a ton of success here. Julian's chin has held up in the past, and he is such a dog. He can grit out a win, but his chin's starting to show some wear. We just saw that with Tai Tuivasa, right? Like we saw his chin showed a little bit of wear in his last couple of fights, and then it finally gave out on him. That may be the same with Julian Erosa here. So I love Hakeem Dawodu. I love him in this fight. I have a moneyline bet on him, and I'm looking forward to it because it should be really fun regardless. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm looking at the odds, see if the odds are moving a little bit. Minus 205. I agree. If this is basically, when you're looking at Julian Erosa, this is Charles Jourdain 2.0. I mean, this might even be, I don't want to say the WIS version of Charles Jourdain, but this is like the exact same fighter of Charles Jourdain. That's why it was such a fun fight between those two. What it comes down to in this fight is, if Hakeem Dawodu is ever bleeding in this fight, I think Erosa's about to win this fight because that means it has turned into the type of fight that Erosa wants to fight. A dirty, brawling, on the ground, scrambles, just a nasty fight. But if this stays clean, there is not many people in the UFC, in the featherweight division, that are going to beat Hakeem in a clean kickboxing match. This dude is so good and so technical and so clean in his striking that if this stays at range at all, he should absolutely dominate this fight. And he shows some pretty good takedown defense as well. Against Evolov or whatever, that's, again, one of those next level wrestling guys, but he showed some really good persistence as far as getting back to his feet and scrambling in some of those positions. So Julian Erosa coming in and shooting takedowns and taking Dawodu down, I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be a mostly striking battle, and I 100% agree. In a striking battle, Hakeem should absolutely dominate. But, you know, Erosa has a way to kind of bait people into those brawls, so we'll see what happens. I think I actually put Erosa into a DraftKings lineup just because I mentioned I don't love a ton of underdogs on this card, and he is tough enough to survive. Dawodu is one of those guys that it's actually kind of surprising that he doesn't knock out people more often. See, look, they're spamming with our channel now. You see that in the chat?
Yeah.
It's like literally bots. Just bro,
yeah,
ban everyone.
We'll just have to do subscriber only mode next time. No big deal.
Yeah, So anyway, I'm surprised when I watch Hakeem fight that he doesn't have more finishes than he does. But with that said, I don't think he's going to be able to finish Julian Erosa. Julian Erosa will be around. He's a dangerous fighter. He could turn this into a brawl. So DraftKings, I sprinkle a little bit for Erosa because he is tough and he can be around. And maybe that volume stacks up for the underdog role. But yeah, I agree 100%. This should be Hakeem all the way in a mostly striking battle.
Yeah, it'll be. It should be a really fun fight regardless. And Julian Erosa, like you said, he's a dog, ton of fun to watch. But you can't just you can't build a long career on just relying on your chin. You just can't. And Hakeem hits hard, super technical. I'm looking forward to it. $8,900. I honestly think it's probably safe money to spend in DraftKings. But again, Julian Erosa is a hard guy to get rid of, and you know, $8,900 means you're going to get a stoppage. And man, it's just so hard because Julian Erosa, I feel like he's going to get knocked out soon. He can't keep taking the shots he takes. But I don't know if it's this fight, and I don't know if it's against Hakeem for $8,900. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm staying away from Hakeem. I think there's much better value around that 9,000 price point against some lower level competition. Because this is one of those fights that Hakeem is the much more talented fighter, but both these guys are pretty high level guys. So it's hard to finish high level fighters.
Yeah, no, I like Hakeem to win. I got that money line bet on him, but yeah, I don't know if I'm going to spend that kind of DraftKings money on him. The more or less Monkey Knife Fight strike line, I think it's probably a more. And if we look at Hakeem versus Mike Trezano, obviously that was closer to a kickboxing match, but Julian's going to come rushing in, make it a firefight, swing wild. I think they end up more with Monkey Knife Fight. What do you think?
I think it's probably a more.
Yeah. Okay, so we agree. WeWantPicks.com/MKF. They will instantly match your deposit up to $100. Give them 50, they'll give you 50. You give them 100, they'll give you 100. Play some of these strike lines. All you need to do is say more or less. And if you're right, you can triple your money. String a bunch together, you can 25 times your money. It's a ton of fun, super easy. It is daily fantasy. And don't forget, premium members. We are doing a Daniel Rodriguez signed poster giveaway thanks to Jesse Correa. All you need to do is be a premium member, like this stream, and comment on the video. That's it. That's all you need to do. If you're already a premium member, that means you're getting full access to all of our bets early, our picks early, our DraftKings optimizer, fully populated, DraftKings ownership, everything you could ever need to make money watching fights. That's WeWantPicks.com. At the top, click Become a Member. Next up, at UFC 279, we have the main card opener. We got Johnny Walker taking on Ion Cutelaba. Johnny Walker's 18-7 overall, 1-4 in his last 5, and he is coming off that quick knockout loss to Jamal Hill. Ion Cutelaba's 16-7 overall, 1-2-1 in his last 5, and he's coming off that submission loss to Ryan Spann. And Johnny Walker, he's a very big light heavyweight at 6'6", and not only is he massive, he's fast, he's powerful, he's athletic, and he can be wild. He's fun to watch. He gets very creative with his striking. He will spin, he'll jump, and he'll just smile that whole time. He's very unorthodox and very dangerous because of all those crazy striking techniques, and he has legit power. The problem is that and everything I just said, while true, hasn't really been true since 2019, right? All of that was Johnny Walker before he moved to SBG Ireland. Once he started training at that gym, they've tried to just change who he is. They're like, "Oh, you're too wild. You're too creative. Let's just slow you the hell down and make you just jab straight the whole time." And that doesn't work for him. He doesn't look comfortable anymore. He's low volume now, and all the things that made him dangerous and made him fun are gone. gyms don't ruin fighters often, but SBG Ireland has managed to ruin Johnny Walker. Ion Cutelaba is definitely a grappler, but he has also really good power in his hands, and he's happy to fight in a phone booth. He's sort of that feast or famine fighter, so he'll chase a stoppage, and he might get stopped while he's doing it. He's good on the ground, and he racks up tons and tons of takedowns, but they can be sloppy at times, right? Lots of body locks, muscle, more so than just clean, solid technique. Cutelaba does get finished in his losses for the most part, but that's traditionally to either great strikers or great BJJ guys. His last loss to Ryan Spann was pretty frustrating for him because he had 3 takedowns in that fight and just left his neck out, and he ended up getting submitted. And it feels like a weird fight, and I mentioned this in Quick Picks. It's basically a battle of the busted prospects. Both of these men have fought sort of the kings of the division, but they've had mixed results in those matchups. Overall, I would say Johnny Walker is the better MMA fighter. He can strike. He can grapple. He's always had a size advantage. He used to have a chin. He used to have solid volume, but he's just not been himself these last few years, and it's just so hard to know what you're going to get. If I knew that Johnny Walker would come out here and just be himself and try to win, right? Not do the SBG Ireland, try not to lose bullshit. If he would go out there and try to win and swing and do all the creative stuff that he did, then he'd be the pick. But in all reality, it's probably going to be a staring contest like it was against Santos, and he's just going to end up getting taken down 15 times. So while I want to pick Johnny Walker here, I just can't. Not based off of his last few performances. I got to go with Cutelaba here. He took Ryan Spann down 3 times. Ryan Spann was taking down Johnny Walker, and that's not even who Ryan Spann is. So Cutelaba is probably going to get the nonstop takedowns. He's absolutely the pick, but I hate making that pick. I really like Johnny Walker, and I just, if anybody needs a gym change, it's him. What do you think?
I bet you do. What's your Johnny Walker black? Is that your blue? What's the best
blue,
one?
Honestly, I just like red.
Okay.
Middle of the road, not too expensive, tastes good. Blue, people who love Johnny Walker blue, if you gave them red and told them it was blue, they'd be like, oh, this is fantastic. They don't know shit. Blue's not that good. It's overpriced, overrated. Continue.
What about Proper 12 Irish whiskey?
Yeah, I love Proper 12 is actually good. But
I don't know. I'm not a drinker. So, I think it's actually Jan, not Ion. You keep going Ion. I think it's just Jan Cutelaba. But yeah, this is a coin toss. I cannot believe, honestly, that the odds are the way they are. And honestly, now that I say that out loud, I can believe it because the path to victory is very clear for Jan. Yeah. The wrestling. But as far as both these guys have the talent, honestly, to be like top 5 guys in the division. I think Jan's probably a little bit undersized for 205, so that would kind of struggle as he worked his way up. But Johnny Walker has the talent to be a top 5 guy. Unfortunately, both these guys have 0 chins anymore left in the UFC, and they both do stupid shit. I mean, especially Cutelaba these days, just does stupid shit. Flip a coin. I mean, this is literally I'm glad that this is a fight on the main card of the pay-per-view. It'll be fun because we have no idea what's going to happen. Both these guys love to show off and do the flashy, weird stuff. But this is in no way should you be putting money, in my mind, 200 for Jan because they're just so unpredictable in this fight. Johnny, as you mentioned, I loved your breakdown. The better, more well-rounded fighter in this matchup. But the path to victory is just so clear for Jan. And he has been leaning on his wrestling a lot more lately, ever since he's been getting knocked out. But even in his wrestling, you saw against Ryan Spann, even in between the shots, he still got hit by Ryan Spann and almost put out. And Johnny Walker, contrary to popular belief against Jamal Hill in that matchup, had some decent success. He had some landed strikes on Jamal Hill. That wasn't just a 10-second knockout. He was striking with them, going back and forth and landing some shots. So, my play for this is under 1.5 rounds, and I placed that for our premium members on Sunday. When I first saw that, it was plus money. Now it's not minus money, so that's why you have to. I mean, you guys hate when Angelo keeps plugging the premium membership, but that's exactly why you need to become a premium member, you idiots, because we drop the odds and place these bets on Sundays, and the odds move, and we're trying to help you guys. $2.50 a week. You're turning plus money into negative money. This is crazy, guys. Sign up. I'm going with Young.
I love the promo.
That's how you cut a promo.
You said we do them on Sundays. You do most of yours on Sundays. Mine are up usually before then. And the ones
that matter up on Sundays.
You have a Sean O'Malley fight up there already. So, anyway, WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. It's $10 a month, and we have a shocking. Last time I said like the number, and somebody did the math real quick, which I don't want people doing the math, but they're like, "Wait, you make this much?" It's like, yeah, okay. Anyway, we have a lot of members. It's working really well. They're enjoying
What's your
it.
thoughts on the Baconator?
I don't like fast food bacon.
Have you?
I like bacon
Wendy's?
on burgers and stuff, but fast food bacon's not good.
Dude,
Anyway.
because a lot of times they just kind of like crisscross on whatever. Wendy's
they're always chewy.
lays that stuff on.
It's always chewy.
Wendy's is, no. It's crispy bacon layered on. I had my first Baconator the other night. Went and got another one the next night. Well, he said Jacob loves double quarter pound. I'm saying the Baconator, guys. We need to get a Wendy's sponsorship.
Whataburger's bacon is actually pretty solid. Anyway, $7,600 for Johnny Walker, $8,600 for Cutelaba. I will probably use Cutelaba because even this dude, if you look at his scoring, it's incredible because even in fights that he loses, he's getting takedowns, getting control. Like he's putting up real points on the board, and then just like messes
he could
up.
get 3 takedowns and get knocked out all in the span of 2 minutes, and all of a sudden he still has 30 points.
Yeah, exactly. And he has power in his hands. It's not he doesn't have pillow fists and only wrestling. The problem is he doesn't really have the chin.
I kind of wish he had pillow fists because then he wouldn't try to knock people out because that was his issue against Ankalaev and whoever else. He's trying to knock people out. At least he goes to his wrestling now, which is a good thing.
I agree. He's self-aware. He knows what's going on. Anyway, WeWantPicks.com/bets. Sign up with any one of our betting partners. Make a deposit. I'll send you $50 as a thank you. WeWantPicks.com/bets. Next up at UFC 279, we have the people's main event. We have Irene Aldana taking on Macy Chiasson. Irene Aldana is 13-6 overall, 3-2 in her last 5, and she is coming off that TKO win over Yana Kunitskaya. Macy Chiasson is 8-2 overall, 3-2 in her last 5, and she's coming off that split decision win over Norma Dumont. And Irene Aldana is a very technical boxer. She's got legit power. She sets a nice pace, and she's able to keep a fight standing with her 84% takedown defense. But her most recent loss is to Holly Holm. And if you remember, Holly Holm was a former professional boxer. And Holly Holm respected Irene's striking so much that she went straight to grappling. So Holly Holm, former professional boxer, was like, I'm not going to strike with Aldana. I'm going to grapple. She ended up taking her down 5 times. Her most recent win was that impressive TKO over Yana Kunitskaya in the first round. And while she's usually the better striker in a matchup, she does have a negative striking differential and can be pieced up by some of the more technical strikers like Jacob's favorite, Caitlin Chikagian. Macy Chiasson is tall, long, and she uses that length really well to jab you up and work her Muay Thai striking. She has a positive striking differential and okay power. If you get past her length, you can have some success staying in her face, but when she can keep distance, she's very good and she can be technical. She's added grappling to her game plan, which is entirely a new wrinkle. She took down Norma Dumont 6 times in that win, and Raquel Pennington submitted her, but she's the one who got that takedown. And Raquel Pennington's not somebody that you just take down, no problem. On the surface, I completely understand why Irene Aldana is the favorite. I just don't necessarily agree with it, especially not at these, almost 2-to-1 odds that we're seeing. Macy can beat Irene the exact same way that Holly Holm did. Manage the distance, then work in the takedowns. Irene has raw power, but Macy is really good at staying away because even though she's a technical striker, she doesn't really want to be striking. So she stays at the end of those punches. And, we've seen how comfortable she is grappling, so I have to imagine she's going to grapple. Why would you not grapple Irene when you just saw her last loss? That's what happened. So I have a small, it's not a full unit, I have a small money line bet on Macy Chiasson. It breaks all the bet women MMA rules. I got it at plus 178. And if you're a premium member, you saw that when I put that up there at plus 178. It is now plus 160. So some money's coming in, and that line is moving a bit. So I probably got it at its peak, frankly, and I'm happy about that. What do you think, Jake? I know you disagree with me, but what do you think of the bet?
Yeah, I mean, you should have I mean, you should have probably. Yeah, it's at plus 150 now. What'd you get at? Plus 170 something. So at least you got good value on
pinnacle.
it. It would have been better to donate that to charity, maybe, Angelo. Maybe a soup kitchen or something. Maybe a charity that the chat chooses, something like that. Maybe we can do that next week with your bet, because I just don't see the path. I see the path to victory, and we discussed this before. Obviously, if Macy is able to get the takedowns, she can win this fight. The question is, can she get the takedowns? And she's not getting takedowns against my girl Aldana, I tell you that. I loved Aldana in the last fight, her last fight versus Yana. Because in that fight, Yana absolutely blitzed her. And I mean absolutely blitzed her, got in her face, was trying to grapple with her, was all over her. And Aldana was just like cool, calm, collected. I loved her demeanor, just kind of stepping in, get the underhook, shrugging her off, letting her do her thing. And then all of a sudden, wham! With that little check left hook, sat her down and did her thing after that. I love Aldana in this matchup. Obviously, I don't think it's going to be very fast-paced. I think Macy, with her length, and she is pretty good at using her length in the striking, I think it's going to be a lot of just tit for tat. It's going to be probably a lot of Aldana's going to need to have a lot of forward pressure, because you got to kind of close that distance. Otherwise, she's going to do, I hate that you mentioned, I hate that I'm about to say her name, but Caitlin Chukagian thing of Macy of just staying and just jab and then boom, 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 and boring. And she might even be able to win the fight like that. But if you're Aldana, you can't be really worried too much about the power of Macy. I don't think she's a super powerful person. No. I think you get inside and you try to make this a little bit dirty, a little bit ugly, and my girl Aldana's going to land a punch that sits her ass down. I love Aldana and the way that she strikes and her demeanor in the octagon as well. I think that she's going to find that shot versus Macy, hurt her. Because you watch that Macy fight versus Norma Dumont. Was grappling, dominating the first, dominating the second. The second, Norma Dumont said, screw it, I'm going to throw big and I'm going to throw heavy. Landed one shot on Macy, and Macy took that shot and was like, oh shit, and just started diving at legs out of desperation. She does not like to get hit, and does not like to get hit versus very powerful women, and Aldana is that next level power in this division. So she's going to land that shot, Macy's going to panic, and Aldana's going to be able to capitalize. I love Aldana this matchup. I love Aldana too. If you're watching Aldana, hey, how you doing?
My problem with your breakdown is Aldana has one path to victory, just a big punch. Macy, you mentioned, can Caitlin Chukagian in her. Macy can the boxer. Jesus Christ, I just said her freaking name.
Holly Holm.
Can Holly Homer. So Macy can win this fight striking on the outside. Macy can win with the grappling. Irene can land a big punch. That's it. Irene's not going to win a technical striking match. She can't win a grappling match.
I think she can. I think there's an outside chance. When I said that, I don't think it's a high possibility. I think there is an outside chance that Macy can dance around and poke her out or whatever. But I think Aldana's going to push the pressure, get inside, get in her face, and she's going to try to force those shots out of Macy, and she's either going to get them or she isn't. And if she doesn't get them, she's in a world of hurt. Versus my girl Aldana. How you doing, Aldana?
I like Irene Aldana, and she does have very real power.
It doesn't sound like it. If I'm Aldana watching this, I think it's very clear who likes her and who doesn't.
But I'm just liking Macy's new grappling, and so I'm gonna go with it. Enough. I didn't do a full unit, just a little tiny bit. And like I said, I think I got that at the pinnacle. And if you were a premium member, you saw that bet. And you know, the best part about our bets, Jacob, they're our bets. What a lot of other people do, there's people out there paying $50 a month for a premium membership. And this isn't literally. And it's like, oh, access to all our bets. And then it's just a list of random spam bets, like 20 random bets, no logic.
Couldn't be me.
Doesn't make sense.
They're no way I'd put up with that. No way.
Like what is interesting about our bets is sometimes you and I are heads up. We were straight up.
You know what I'm going to do? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to clone myself just so I could sign up twice as a premium member because I love our value that much.
I could just take the $10 out of your pay. You want to do that?
I mean, imagine two of me. We don't need you if there's two of me. Imagine me and me on this podcast. Holy shit.
You never talk about a fight. It would be a disaster. I'm the only thing that keeps
Aldana.
This on
Imagine
track.
Two of us, Aldana. Imagine a threesome. Two of me and one of you, Aldana.
Okay. Well, quite the lesbian pretzel. Anyway, WeWantPicks.com. Become a premium member. DraftKings, $8,800, $7,400. Listen, I totally get the value. $8,800, and you think she hits that hard? 100%. You should do it. 100%.
Oh, yeah, she's in mine, yeah.
I bet.
Let me double check.
I like the $7,400
Well, she's not
value.
mine in our league, but she is in a couple entries. I started dabbling in the multi-entry a little bit. Using the optimizer
I was going to say, that's literally what, no joke though. That is what the optimizer is for. Build yourself 150 lineups.
Anthony gets it. Just signed up as a premium member. Salute you guys. Always putting in work with one of these.
I see it
pit
right here on my
stains.
phone.
Nobody
Anthony
works
Delgado.
harder. Look how hard I'm working with these pit stains.
Your deodorant's definitely not working hard enough. 76 to 61. I think it's probably a more. Although Irene may have a hard time getting to that 76 if I'm right. Obviously, if I'm wrong, but it might be a less more actually because Irene can land that big punch. Irene could have a hard time getting past the reach, and Macy will just touch all day. You think it's less because you're just a 2-second knockout?
If Aldana's landed 76 shots, that's not good for Macy's face. It will never be the same.
Yeah, it's probably less on Irene for sure. Maybe more on Macy. WeOnPicks.com/MKF if you want to give it a try. Next up at UFC 279, we have Kevin Holland taking on Daniel Rodriguez. And before I jump into the breakdown, we're giving away a Daniel Rodriguez autographed poster to premium members. Jesse Correa in our live chat, giant, amazing part of this community. Jesse Correa, look at this. Look at this timing. Celebrates 17 months of membership. And Jesse gave us a Daniel Rodriguez autographed poster, and he said, I love you guys. Give this away to a premium member. So all you need to do to get the poster is A, be a premium member, which you should be for the millions of reasons I've listed. WeOnPicks.com, click become a member. And B, or the second thing you need to do is like the video. The third, comment on the video. It's that simple. And we're giving away to premium members. And any giveaway that we do going forward will be for premium members as a little like, hey, appreciate you. Here's some picks, here's some bets, and here's some stuff. Thank you very much, Jesse, for that donation for us to give it away. We got Kevin Holland taking on Daniel Rodriguez. Kevin Holland is 23-7 overall, 2-2-1 in his last 5 with 2 consecutive wins at welterweight. Daniel Rodriguez is 16-2 overall, 4-1 in his last 5, and he is coming back after a year away. Kevin Holland is a middleweight. He moved down to welterweight, but this fight is at 180-pound catch weight instead of welterweight. I'm not 100% sure why. Do you know?
I wish I did. Damn it.
Yeah, you blew it. Kevin Holland is an accurate and powerful striker who has miserable takedown defense, but he is a solid grappler on the ground. Other than the wrestling, Kevin Holland is a killer. He's a sniper on his feet. He's got great accuracy, solid range, and he can grapple really well. The problem is he has no control over if he's standing around the ground. He has no offensive takedowns, can't defend the takedown. And just because it is insanely easy to take him down, it doesn't mean that you're safe, right? Tim Means took him down twice and then got submitted. Daniel Rodriguez is a very good boxer who picks his shots well. He's got good takedown defense, but not much to offer in the grappling department. But that's not even going to matter in this matchup. His boxing is crisp and his cardio is very good, which is an asset for him because even though he has a bunch of knockouts, he's not chasing power. He's not throwing big bombs. He's lighting people up, touching them, wearing them down, and then finding his spots. This should be a really fun fight, and this really is the perfect opportunity to see how good Kevin Holland actually is because Daniel's going to be probably the best pure striker that Kevin has fought, and I'm looking forward to see Kevin just do whatever he wants to do without worrying about the takedowns. In every single one of his fights, he's had to worry about being taken down, and now he's not going to have to do that here. I think this fight is closer than these odds, right? Right now, minus 200, but I think this fight is closer. I am going to go with Kevin here. I think he's going to be bigger. I think he's going to be more powerful. I think he's more accurate. I don't think he's the more technical striker, but I do think he's more accurate. And if somehow this does hit the ground, there's a giant skill gap there. It's a really interesting matchup. I'm not going to argue with anybody who says Daniel Rodriguez wins this fight because he's a very, very good boxer. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Oh, boy. So this is how I see this fight, and let me preface this by saying, and Angelo knows this as well, I'm a big Kevin Holland dude. I absolutely love Kevin Holland. As a person, he's a funny dude. As a fighter, he's so much fun to watch. I have been on Kevin Holland for a long time. Very, very fun dude to watch. I'm so glad that he dropped down to 170. I wish I knew, again, that why this is a catch weight, but I'm glad he dropped down to 170 to really show off what he can do and not just being dominated by the big wrestlers at 185. I hope that he really, really shines at 170 and pushes up towards the title. With that being said, Angelo, and I hate to do this to my dude Kevin, but I see this exactly, and I mean to a T, exactly like the Nathaniel Wood and Charles Jourdain fight. With that being said, as far as Kevin Holland being Charles Jourdain, because everyone loves him because he's tough, he's fun to watch, he can put people away, he's a wild striker. But when you watch these guys strike, Angelo, there's one dude that's very technical, and there's one dude that just throws power shots and is looking for that power shot, and Daniel Rodriguez is the Nathaniel Wood of this matchup. He's going to be the more technical striker. And if you look at Kevin Holland's wins, and you look at his wins, Daniel Rodriguez is not Tim Means. I mean, he is not Tim Means. He is not Cowboy Oliveira, who, by the way, was piecing up Kevin Holland in the first round of that fight. Kevin Holland looked like absolute crap in the first round of that fight versus Cowboy. And obviously Cowboy looked fantastic. That's the best Cowboy's looked in a long time. But I mean, absolutely piecing up Kevin Holland to where he went back to his corner and was like, holy shit, what the hell am I doing in this matchup? He is not 40-year-old Jacare, who took him down and, it was a weird knockout. He is not Charlie Ontiveros, who Kevin Holland beat. Everyone knocks out Charlie. I mean, poor Charlie.
He put out Buckley.
Everyone knocks out Charlie, but I'm saying in these last few fights that he's putting people away and he's doing what he needs to do, and his losses are because of wrestling. But when it comes to a technical strike, he has not fought a technical striker like D-Rod in his last whatever. I mean, one of the most technical strikers that he's probably fought.
He is the most technical striker.
It's probably Marvin Vittori, but he's not really a dynamic striker. He's just kind of ones and twos, and that was more of the takedown routes that he took in that, in that matchup. But I mean, D-Rod is the most technical striker that this dude has faced. And like I said, and then Nathaniel Wood break down Charles Jourdain. Charles Jourdain was the much more dangerous fighter in that matchup. Kevin Holland is a much more dangerous fighter in the matchup. The difference is Nathaniel Wood had a little bit of the wrestling to complement his striking. D-Rod doesn't really have that. So if this goes to the ground, he is in danger with the jiu-jitsu and the weird long limbs of Kevin Holland. But on the feet, as I've said time and time again, Angelo, I will always pick the better striker in a mostly striking matchup, which I think this is. And unfortunately for Kevin Holland, I am very, very high on my dude D-Rod this week. So tune in later this week. But my pick is D-Rod, man. I think that his technical striking is really going to give Kevin Holland issues. Really going to give him issues.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I'm not going to disagree with anybody picking Daniel Rodriguez because everything you said is accurate. I think I just see different sides of it. Like, okay, Cowboy Oliveira was giving him a hard time. But Cowboy Oliveira is actually phenomenal. He's sort of fallen off.
He's a technical striker.
Yeah, he's phenomenal. And then he ended up losing, and that was his first, Kevin Holland's first fight at welterweight. And I agree. Kevin Holland is not as technical as Daniel Rodriguez, but he's not sloppy. And Kevin Holland isn't just winging big power shots. Kevin Holland has laser pinpoint accuracy. Like, his accuracy is incredible. He's far more accurate than Daniel Rodriguez is. Far more. And he's going to have more power. Daniel Rodriguez will be more technical, faster. So it'll be... listen, like I said, I'm not going to argue that side at all, but I definitely...
and this is... And I just want to be clear, too. This is not one of those situations where I know a lot of people be like, oh, D-Rod's never been knocked out, so he can't get knocked. I hate when people are like, oh, you can't knock this dude out because he's never been knocked out or whatever. Don't even look at the fact that D-Rod's never been knocked out, so how is he going to knock? He could definitely... Kevin Holland could definitely put D-Rod's lights out. I just think that his head movement and his the way he parries shots and his ones and twos on the counters is going to be way too much for Kevin. But, I mean, Kevin's a dangerous dude. I love Kevin. So, for me to pick against Kevin is a big deal. I think Angelo would agree with that. It's a big deal.
I was surprised when I saw that. I see Jacob's picks on premium membership like everybody else. Like he does, you send me, here's my picks, and then I upload them on the website. When I was putting them up there, I was like, what the f-? He didn't pick Kevin Holland? I'm surprised here. So anyway, we're split here as well. I see your side. You see my side. We are split on this pick. We have that absolute clown Muppet troll, Sean. Anybody who picks Kevin Holland he's a fucking 2-1 favorite, Sean. And you are wrong 90 some odd percent of the time. It's actually embarrassing. You need a new hobby. You're very wrong, like all the time.
Don't listen to him, Sean. We love you, Sean.
It's unbelievable. We love you, Sean. Just the other day, you told me to get a life.
Well, I get a little irritated as well sometimes with something, but for the most part, he comes from a good place, I think.
Well, anyway, $8,700 to $7,500. Do you like Daniel Rodriguez enough to spend that $75?
This is one of those dudes that there's not a lot of underdogs I like with some good value, and it's going to be a tough one because I don't think he's going to be putting Kevin Holland away. I just think that his volume, the 30 points for the win, I think he gets the win out of it. I think it's a decision win, but I don't love it. But for underdogs, if I think he's going to win, I got to play him.
Yep. Again, I'm not going to disagree, but I like Kevin Holland, but I don't think I'm going to spend the $8,700 because we're getting up there in price, and we're not going to have any grappling, so he's not going to get takedown points. He's not, none of that stuff. So then it's just striking, and is Kevin Holland going to knock him out? Maybe, but I'm not going to spend $8,700 on that. Not on this card when we have some massive, ridiculously expensive favorites that, will most likely be in people's lineups. What?
Let me know what you think about this one, because on BetOnline, go to WeWantPicks.com/bear, sign up BetOnline, get in $50, sign up. Most significant strikes landed. Who do you think would have more in this matchup?
Probably Daniel Rodriguez.
I would think that as well. I think he's the volume guy, and Kevin Holland is more the coming in with the ones and twos and stuff. You can get D-Ride at plus 170.
Tiff, you're on camera. You might want to crawl out of here.
Oh, my God. Here we go. Here we go, everyone.
That's what they've been waiting for. All right. Well, premium membership, you can see her feet. WeWantPicks.com.
Babe, we got to show you off, too. You know what's funny? You know the funniest part about that is my dog is sitting on the bed. When I said that, she goes and looks at me like I was talking to her. Like, did you need me? Did you call me?
We want picks, and that's so funny because you have your own little army here, and they don't know it's just you and the dog hanging out.
What's wrong with that, Angela?
WeWantPicks.com.
There's more of me in the chat than you, I think.
100%.
Raise your hand in the chat if you have a girlfriend or a wife. There's going to be 2 people.
We want picks.
And one of them's lying.
Yeah, like everybody who on Sundays. Oh, man, I was right there. I went 11-1.
Or how about Plow now? 15. It says my lock of the week. I'm 15-1 lock of the week. My lock of the week is Buckley. And then deletes the comment. If you're in here, buddy, take it to the bank.
There you go. Wow, there you go. Lock of the week video is going to be an interesting one. Anyway,
if you have a girlfriend, you have to send me a picture of her on Instagram. You have to prove that. Send a picture of her with your name written on her feet. I want to see your name written.
WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. Full access. All of our bets, all of our predictions, and a DraftKings lineup optimizer early and often. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. And premium members, this week we are doing a giveaway for that signed Daniel Rodriguez poster. Thank you, Jesse Correa, for donating that. And
it took me a long time to do that. Spanish in high school was rough for me. It was rough for me, I'll be honest with you.
You just didn't do it. Anyway.
Moving on. That's what the girl. Hey, if you're single ladies in the chat. Next up, at UFC 279, we have the co-main event of the evening. Frankly, it's kind of a weak co-main event on a mediocre pay-per-view, if we're being honest. A lot of fun fights, should be really entertaining, but these are not needle pushers. We got Li Jingliang taking on Tony Ferguson, and Jingliang Li is 19-7 overall, 3-2 in his last 5, alternating wins and losses. Tony Ferguson is 25-7 overall, 1-4
in his last 5, coming off a horrible knockout. Jay Lang's a very good boxer with volume and very real power. He mixes in low kicks to slow you down before sending power hands right over the top. But as solid as his striking is, he does have holes in the grappling, and he's not a complete fish out of water, but his 58% takedown defense does give his opponents a path to victory if they're worried about that power. He's coming off that incredible win over Salikov where he absolutely flatlined him in that second round. Tony Ferguson is coming back after one of the worst knockouts we have ever seen in the UFC, and that was only 3 months ago. Go watch that knockout and say, yeah, this guy will be in a cage in 3 months. It's just, I cannot believe I can't believe the suspension was only, I don't know what it was, but I can't believe it was less than 3 months.
Anyway, probably 60 days, yeah.
I mean, that should have been a full 120. That was bad. But before that, he did look like an unstoppable force when he was on that 12-fight win streak, and that was loaded with submissions, TKOs, and he was just unbelievable. And then he hit that 4-fight losing skid. It started with Justin Gaethje, but style-wise, he is an active striker. He's got a wide array of techniques. He doesn't have a ton of power, but he breaks people with his constant pressure. He landed 104 strikes against Donald Cerrone, 115 against Anthony Pettis, and neither one of those fights saw the third round. Tony's biggest issue used to be his psyche, like the guy was a head case. At this point in his career, it's definitely his chin. And he actually looked good against Michael Chandler. He won that first round, like literally won it on all 3 judges' scorecards, and then was put out real bad. And I feel bad about this fight. I mean, Tony was a straight up, I say was a legend. He's not dead, and he still is a legend. But a few years ago, a few years ago, people were talking about Tony Ferguson beats Khabib, and they were like dead serious when they were saying it. And now he's on this 4-fight losing streak, coming off one of the worst KOs ever. Not long ago, his wife was talking about how he's losing his mind. She had a restraining order, maybe, something like that. And unfortunately for Tony, I think the sport has just taken way too much from him at this point. His turnaround is too fast after that knockout, and unless he sticks to a grappling game plan, I think he's blasted again. And you know, with that being said, he did wrestle in college, so he could do a grappling game plan. But you know, we know him; he's a warrior. He's going to go out on his shield, and unfortunately, I think he gets cracked. But listen, he won that first round against Michael Chandler, and the only reason that I'm like quote unquote positive he's going to get smoked here is because of the turnaround. If we were looking at 8 months, 9 months, a year later, it's a different breakdown. But 3 months, your brain's not better. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, especially against a guy that punches as hard as Lee. Because one of us correctly picked Lee to knock out Muslim in his last matchup, which was me. And it was simply because of all the weird feints and angles that Lee throws out before his punches that I think are just going to confuse the hell out of Tony Ferguson and give him just flashbacks, PTSD. He's going to see, like, it's going to look like like Medusa is coming at him with the feints that Lee is throwing in this matchup. And that's why I picked him against Muslim, because he's not one of those guys, those power punchers that just sits and then just tries to time it. He's constantly moving, boom, pump, 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 pump. And all of a sudden that big right hand is on you, and it's like, holy shit, where the hell did that thing come from? And that's going to give Tony all sorts of fits. Literally, after you just got knocked out, you're already going to be a little bit gun shy, but when you see all these feints coming at you, you're going to be reacting big, and it's going to be a bad situation for Tony to be in. Now, maybe at 170, Tony realizes who he is at this point, and maybe he starts relying on his wrestling, because Tony, at his core, is a wrestler. He was a college wrestler. He's got the little tattoo. Angelo, do you have the tattoo? The little wrestling tattoo?
I do not. That's the USA. What's funny about that tattoo is it's USA Wrestling, which is a brand. Like, they're an organization.
But everyone has it.
I know, because everybody that's ever wrestled
to get it tomorrow.
But down, in like Florida, it's not even USA Wrestling tournaments. They're AAU tournaments. So it's just funny that, I mean, not everywhere.
Well, they're called tournaments.
It's just funny that, but nobody has an AAU tattoo on themselves.
Well, okay. I wouldn't say that. I have a Hoop It Up and Gus Smacker, by the way, 1995 Hoop It Up, Gus Smacker, all-world second place, 3-on-3 basketball. You're not going to beat me 3-on-3.
That's some
all
trash
world. Gus Smacker and Hoop It Up, both up.
Trash world Indiana basketball game, all world. Go ahead.
Excuse me. Yeah, have you ever heard of Gus Smacker? Have you ever heard of Hoop It Up? Yeah. Those are world-renowned organizations, and we dominated. We absolutely dominated. So to be honest with you guys, maybe at 170 he comes in, he starts wrestling. I don't think even if he's wrestling, I don't know if he's going to be able to take down Lee. This is just a bad matchup for him altogether. But wouldn't this just be the most Tony Ferguson thing in the world to have happen? You lose, what is it, 4 fights in a row, you just got flatlined, there's a weird scramble, and all of a sudden Tony Ferguson ends up in his just patented Darce. Even Lee was talking about in the embedded today, his Darce is like, it's crazy how fast he gets that thing in. It would be the most Tony Ferguson thing ever to win this fight. And for that reason, I didn't put any money on Lee. The odds are getting a little bit wide now, but he's still going to, it's Tony Ferguson, man. I don't know if it's out of respect that I'm not going to bet against him, but a lot of people are like, why didn't you put money on Lee? Why didn't you? But it would just be the most Tony Ferguson thing for him to win this fight, but I'm not going to pick him. I'm going with Lee.
No, you can't. And I think we'll all be rooting for Tony Ferguson because, a lot of people respect and like Jingliang Lee, but I don't think there's a lot of people that are like, he's my favorite fighter. So I think a lot of people will be rooting for Tony Ferguson. I think it's passed them by. 9,000 to 7,200. Jingliang's worth that 9,000. I think he's worth that 9,000. We don't have pricing on Jailton Almeida, but he'll probably be around that price point as well. And I think the two of them are,
he's in DraftKings.
Jailton Almeida?
I thought he was. Let me see.
No, he's not. That fight's not in there.
Excuse me, sir.
Well, then they added it an hour ago.
He's 10,000.
Okay. Never in the history. They had to rewrite the code because they couldn't fit that extra zero. Anyway, I think Jingliang's worth that $9,000. Honestly, the money line odds aren't even that bad, but probably leave that alone. 65 to 60 strikes the Monkey Knife Fight strike line. What do you think?
Probably less. Probably.
Before I decide on that, I'll go back and see how many strikes Tony Ferguson landed in that first round with Chandler, because he won that round. So, curious. But 60 is high, and it
27.
Is 27 strikes or significant strikes? Strikes.
Total strikes.
Yeah. All right. It's probably a less, because even at that pace, it's got to get over 2. Which I don't see that happening. I do have a bet here. I'm not going to be the shady weasel I want to be and be like, you're going to have to go to premium to check it out. I have the under on rounds. You have a bet here, but I will be a shady weasel about that. Right?
I do?
Oh, I thought you had.
Let me check.
You do. You texted it to me like 2 hours before this, and I posted.
Oh, yeah, because I forgot the prop bets dropped today.
Yeah, dropped.
So they started dropping prop bets for this. Yeah. So and somebody said he had Chandler hurt. Everyone has Chandler hurt, honestly, and that's why that's why I want Conor to fight Chandler. That's the best matchup for him because Chandler gets dropped in every single fight. So if you're Conor, if you're watching, doing your little blow.
WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member, and you will get full access to every single one of our bets the minute we place them. Jacob literally placed a bet, texted me, and that was up for premium members within 5 minutes. And this week, we are giving away a signed Daniel Rodriguez poster to premium members. So not only do you get access to all of our bets, access to all of our picks early, a DraftKings optimizer, DraftKings ownership, DraftKings points projections, and everything else that you could ever want, we're going to give you a Daniel Rodriguez poster as well if you win the raffle. But you have to be a premium member, you have to like this video, and you have to comment on the video to enter. WeWantPicks.com at the top. Click Become a Member.
And Chimaev wins. Thanks for watching, guys. This has been We Want Picks. Don't forget. But I'm serious.
Yeah, we still got to break it down. And we'll talk about the odds in a second. Next up at UFC 279, we have Khamzat Chimaev taking on Nate Diaz. Khamzat Chimaev, 11-0, undefeated, coming off the first decision of his career, and he's taking on Nate Diaz. 20-13, 2-3 in his last 5. He is coming off that loss to Leon Edwards over a year ago. Khamzat Chimaev is one of the most popular fighters on the planet right now. His Instagram, I forget how many followers. He has many millions of followers, and this dude has only been a thing for about a year and a half, 2 years. It's incredible what he's done. Everybody knows him. Everybody likes him. And it seems like everybody wants to train with him as well. He has very good wrestling, very good grappling, very good ground and pound, legit hands. He sets an incredible pace, and he's always hitting you with something. He's got that Khabib-style chain wrestling and then that added layer of striking.
4.1 million.
That's insane. Yeah, considering how quickly that all happened for him. He has 5 fights in the UFC, and he managed to get through the first 4 of them with only being punched one time in 4 fights. He's coming off that absolute war with Gilbert Burns where he had 2 takedowns, a knockdown, but he landed fewer total strikes. And regardless of if you think he won or not, because a lot of people think Gilbert Burns won, my issue in that fight was actually that Khamzat didn't wrestle more. He's in a striking battle in the second round, third round, not necessarily winning, and he isn't wrestling. He only had 2 takedowns. He could have had 60 if he wanted. But we finally got to see him go to a decision and see what he's like. That cardio wasn't as legendary as they say it is, but it was an incredible fight, and he did show us how tough he is. And Nate Diaz is an absolute legend who did the sport his way. And I'm talking past tense. This is his last fight on his UFC contract. 0% chance he stays with the UFC. Even if he beats Chimaev, he won't stay with the UFC. There's way more money to be made outside of this. He's beaten legends like Donald Cerrone, Jim Miller, Conor McGregor, and Anthony Pettis. He is a high-volume striker with incredible cardio, BJJ black belt. But that jiu-jitsu, it's really there if he ends up getting taken down. I think every single one of us is on the same page. Khamzat's going to win, but we'll all be rooting for Diaz. I don't know anybody who genuinely thinks Nate Diaz is going to win, like that isn't just saying it, hoping, or thinking that they can pretend that they're a genius later. But, Khamzat's going to win this fight. If he does end up just standing there for 25 minutes, well then, yeah, he could actually have a couple issues there because Nate Diaz has insane volume. But I think this actually, if Khamzat wants to grapple, he's just going to destroy Nate Diaz. If he wants to stand in front of him, I think it's going to look like the BMF belt fight. Khamzat's going to touch him up. Nate's face is going to crumble as the Diaz brothers do, and there'll be a TKO there. So Khamzat Chimaev is absolutely, obviously, the pick. These odds, I did this graphic today at like 2 p.m., minus 1,600. What are his odds now?
Oh, I don't know. Let me do the work for you, Angelo. Per usual,
they're moving fast.
Per usual, minus 1,600. Yeah, they're moving fast.
They move. Well, the takedown prop bet for Bet Online is minus 3,000. So, what do you think, Jakey boy? Khamzat wins and we're done?
Yeah, I think obviously Chimaev is going to win this fight, but the issue is going to be, and I think for a lot of people, is how's the fight going to go? When's it going to be over? I think the round line's at 1.5. The over/under is probably going to be the most hotly debated topic of this matchup, and I'm going to play the under. I'm going to play the under for the reason that Chimaev is a very self-aware fighter. He went into that Burns matchup, and if you listen to the UFC countdown for this fight, he talked about, listen, I knew I could just dominate that fight if I wanted to. I could just take Burns down and just do what I normally do. But I wanted a war. I wanted a war, and I wanted to stand. I wanted to try to knock this dude out. And he said, his coaches were like, listen, he did his thing. We were telling him, don't do it. But he knew what he was doing. He wanted to make sure, he wanted to try and prove a point in that matchup that I can stand, hang on my feet, and try to knock this dude out. I think he does the same thing in this matchup for the opposite way. Meaning, I think he tries to prove a point in the fact that everyone says Nate Diaz only been finished once. Nobody can finish the most durable guy in the UFC, the warrior, the gangster. I think he tries to absolutely prove a point by getting Nate Diaz out as quickly as he can. Because there would be nothing more impressive. Everyone has beat up Nate for 5 rounds. That's what everyone does. They just beat up Nate. They beat up Nate. He's bleeding. He's bloody. And then Nate has his little moment at the end. I think for Khamzat to come out and really show, not that his star, as you mentioned, 4 million followers, his star is already big, but for his star to go to a next level, if he can get Nate Diaz, the guy nobody puts away, out in the first round, that would really show, holy shit, is this guy on an absolute next level. I think that's exactly what he does. He does what he's been doing up to that Gilbert Burns fight. He goes in, shoots that underneath blast double, gets him to the ground, and just tries to put this dude away as fast as he can. And honestly, if he wants to do that versus Nate, I think he absolutely can do that versus Nate, because that ground and pound is just going to be absolutely relentless. He's going to split him open, and the ref is going to be have no choice but to stop this fight. I'm not going to say he's going to flatline Nate, but there's just going to be so much carnage that Herb Dean is going to have to be like, oh, I'm sure it's probably going to be Herb Dean. Herb's going to be like, yo, Nate, you got to do something, Nate. Come on, Nate. You got to do something. And he's going to have to stop this fight. I love Chimaev. I love him in the first round. I think he's here to prove a point in this matchup, and I think he gets it done easily in the first round.
As much as we want to see a war, because that's fun, and I actually want Nate to leave the UFC, go fight Jake Paul. Like, I want him to go do that stuff, because I still want to see him compete, but he can't hang with the upper echelon guys in the division. So let's watch some fun fights, right? Like, I'll watch the hell out of Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz. I would love that. And that's very possible whether Jake wins or loses his next fight.
Go to PFL and beat the shit out of Anthony Pettis.
Yeah, I mean, that's possible.
That's what everyone else does. Jesus, Anthony, you lost me so much money. Makes me sick, Anthony. Bitch.
What is interesting is you mentioned how durable Nate is, 100%, but the round line is low. It's a 1.5. It's a low round line. And then this Monkey Knife Fight strike line is low too. I like the over on both. I do think I don't think it's this 2-second decimation. I think Khamzat is buying into his own hype, and I don't think he's going to go get the takedown. I'm going to murder this dude. I think it's more like, I'll strike with him. Let's have some fun. Oh, I'm the happiest guy in the world. And I think that's what it's going to be. Smiling.
If you watch that countdown, you watched him bet, I think there's definitely been a tone that has switched. He wants to prove, because I think he takes a lot of disrespect in the fact, and he talks about it in the thing. He's like, listen, these people talk about I'm a gangster. I grew up on the streets. He's like, you didn't grow up where I grew up. Like, we're hunting for food. Like, we don't know what the hell our next... I mean, it is war-torn Chechnya, and you're talking about I grew up on the streets. I am the gangster in this matchup. I had the tough childhood in this matchup, and I think he really wants to try and prove a point, man.
I honestly hope so. It's so much better for everything. If Khamzat destroys Nate Diaz, he's obviously expected to, but if it's just like absolute decimation, that's better for everything. Welterweight's way more exciting. If it's a Gilbert Burns style fight, that's a ton of fun. Wow, that was great. And $80 worth it. But it doesn't do anything for the division, because then the next day you'll be like, dude, he barely beat Gilbert, barely beat Nate. We're gonna give this guy a title, So, well, I guess we'll see. Well, I'll watch it. That's what we do. But should be a beating. I just don't think it's quite the immediate beating that you do. Any parting words for the people?
I think that I'm going to go live tomorrow night for Contender Series. So stay tuned for that. I think we're going to probably open some cards in between fights and stuff. If you guys are enjoying the Contender Series, we'll do that. Lock of the Week video is Wednesday. I've seen a ton of comments. Who's Jacob's Lock of the Week? Who's Jacob's Lock of the Week? People are guessing this. It is announced officially every Wednesday on my own video, so stay tuned for that, going for 10 in a row. I've got it dialed in. I literally haven't chosen yet. So if somebody says this is Jacob's Lock of the Week, that's news to me, because I haven't picked the Lock of the Week yet. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you like the stream before you go, guys. Become a premium member, because that D-Rod poster, become a premium member after the video is over. Remember, if you commented in the live chat, that's not a comment on the video. So after the video is done and over and uploaded, whatever, comment on the video, like the video to be entered to win that D-Rod poster. Again, thank you, Jesse, Jesse is, you and Joey T are just from day one, too. These guys have been here for day one. We appreciate all the support. And everyone that joins in the live stream, even if you guys are not members or whatever, we still appreciate all the support, all the likes, all the views, all the comments. Angel doesn't really like, but I appreciate all you guys, because I'm the people's champ in this motherfucker. So we appreciate you guys, and that's oh, now we gotta say we can't we can't cuss in the last 30 seconds, right? So now we gotta keep talking. And
Is it really do that? I know it's like the first 30. Anyway,
I thought it was the first and the last, but yeah.
I have no idea. But thanks for the watch, guys. Become a premium member. I've mentioned all the bonuses, everything that you get for it now. And as Jacob mentioned, we're doing a giveaway this week. WeWantPicks.com. At the top, click Become a Member. And if you want that $50, WeWantPicks.com/bets. Sign up with one of the betting partners. Make a deposit. We'll send you $50. You have to use our link, though. There's people asking for, hey, here's my account number. I need my $50. I look it up. No account. Hey, we can't find your account. Oh, I created it 2 years ago. Yeah, dude. No. You got to do it through our links so we get the credit. That's how we're able to give you $50. WeOwnPicks.com/bets. Sign up. Make a deposit. We'll send you 50 smackaroos.